question we've been asking since the beginning of homework, right? Even if you assigned homework that used to be the old homework, how did you guarantee that kids did it? And I think you actually at the university level, the more I think about this, these kids have to be self-learners. They are here. They are paying to be here. They are coming to your class for a reason, right? Most of them hopefully are motivated because it is their master that they're going to go off, and there is some intrinsic motivation for them. Let's hope, right? This becomes a lot harder when I'm talking to 5th grade teachers. Trust me, right? But I think there is something there where if you can motivate kids to go out and say, okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z. Today you have to go out and learn about that. You need to go learn what X, Y, and Z is, because tomorrow we're going to have a discussion in class. And if you don't show up in class ready for the discussion, oh well, you miss out. I can't say that to a 10th grade teacher. I think you can say that at university. I think you really could. If I understand that my class time is going to be used to be social, to bounce those ideas, to think about something more, a little deeper, then I think we have some possibilities here of what that looks like. So we're going to practice that with this connectivism thing, and this is going to be really messy. If you've never done this before, this is just going to be fun, messy, and crazy. So are you ready for this? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up this class for this class discussion. We're going to use what we call a fishbowl. So we're going to have a discussion group in the middle, and that's going to be the group here at the big table. You didn't know that when you sat down. And the group here at the big table, we're going to be having a discussion around connectivism and that article that you were supposed to read. Okay, so you have some background knowledge because you were supposed to read that article, right? So that's this group. Now, the group on the outside, if you read the article, that's great. If you didn't, that's not a problem. That's not a problem either. What I want you to do is we need two different things to happen here. We're going to have some of you who are on a computer on this website where all the links are. You're going to see two links down here at the bottom. One says collaborative notes and one says back channel chat. Okay, so the first one we're going to click on is the collaborative notes. And what this is just a Google Doc, nothing fancy here. And you see at the top, I've got two columns, and basically I need people to take notes for the class. So I need two people who want to volunteer on the outside, not the inside. Sorry, your job's already done, Inside Circle. You actually have to talk and communicate. But on the outside circle, I need two people who want to put their names where it says note taker on the left and note taker on the right for the Connectivum group discussion notes. Do I have two volunteers who can pull this up? There's some of you on there who can pull this up and who can put your name in there. Thank you. There's one volunteer. So if you'll put your name, right down there where it says note taker one, note taker colon right there. Put your name, and then you're going to take the notes in that box underneath where you just put your name. And then do I have somebody to volunteer for number 2? Thank you. All right, so you put your name over there where it says note taker 2. Okay, so they're going to take our notes, which means the rest of you on the outside of the outside of the circle, you no longer have to worry about taking notes. Okay, notes have been taken for you because these are going to be the class notes. They are your note takers for today, and everybody has access to these notes as soon as we leave class. Okay? And we're going to talk about how that becomes even deeper meaning later. Right? So that's number 1. Thank you, you two. The second one, then, you'll see a second link here. This is for everybody else. And everybody else is going to go into a chat room. So if you're not one of the note takers, I want you to click on that link that says, and you have a connected device. If you don't have a connected device, you might want to look over somebody's shoulder to see how this works. But where it says back channel chat, you're going to click on that. And it's going to bring you to this chat room where you can sign in with your name. And you'll notice that it's just a chat room. There's nothing fancy about it. This is an open source one that's sitting on my server. No big deal. The one thing I would suggest is either you mute your computer or you find this little thing because it goes ding, ding, ding. It gets really annoying when you're having a discussion. But if you click on that little thing there, that'll mute it. Or just mute the information on your computer. Mute the sound on your computer. All right? So here's the way that the fishbowl is set up. We have this group in the middle who is not going to be able to use technology because it's not always about technology, right? So the group in the middle is, and the reason why this is called a fishbowl, these are the fish. The people at this table are the fish. Now, the people on the outside of this circle, you are watching the fish, okay? And you're going to be taking notes about this discussion. You're going to be having a conversation in a chat room about this discussion, okay? So if you're at this table at this time, I'd like you to lower your lid and get off the internet for a little bit. You don't have to lower it all the way. If you just want to lower it halfway, get it off to the side, get it out of your view. because you're not going to be able to use technology. We're going to be in a deep, meaningful discussion around connectivism. Okay? Now, the outside, you guys get to talk about what's going on here. The only person at this table who's going to have a computer is going to be me. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be monitoring the class notes, and I'm going to be monitoring the chat, and I'll be able to ask questions that are coming from the outside into the fishbowl. That's like feeding the tank, right? So you actually get to interact with them, but in a very quiet, behind-the-scenes kind of way. Does that make sense? Okay? And so you need to have connectivism ready to go, and we're going to have a conversation about what do you think this learning theory means to you, and how are you going to apply this in your classroom. All right? We'll see how this works. All right, let me grab my computer real quick, because I'll just have to disconnect. And we're gonna. I've got a time. We're only going to do this for about 10 minutes. So just to give you a show of what this could look like in the classroom. Okay. It looks like there's some people in the chat room, so you guys can chat, talk about this. You can chat to each other. All right. All right. Welcome to class today, everybody. How are you? So last night, or over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about new learning theories, and your learning theory that we're talking about this week is this idea of connectivism. First of all, did anybody research the author of this learning theory? No. Okay. So the
that it wasn't a recent article.
It's not a recent article. What do you mean not recent? 2005.
And updated 2005.
Updated 2005. Yeah, 2004 was the original post date. So it's interesting. We say 2004 is like forever ago. This isn't recent learning theory.
Students do say that.
Yes, they do, don't they?
I was born.
Yeah. So I just want to open this up for this discussion, and the purpose of this discussion, I just want to open this up and just say, what are you thinking about after reading this article? What is something that struck you about this? Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting, it requires a paradigm shift in how we look at things. It's very parallel to what happened when the printing press was developed. And as print became more accessible, scholars were very concerned that the brain would change because people wouldn't be memorizing anymore. And what would happen to all that information when it wasn't just accessible right in the book? And it just seems like it's a similar kind of process, maybe not as big a shift, but a similar kind of process we need to go through in order to accommodate new ways of new sources of information.
I like that. And in the connectivism theory, where's the information stored? Like you said, we used to think it was here. Where, according to this theory, where do we see that? We see it on the internet, or in the network, or in people.
And we've all done it too. I mean, wouldn't you want to know what your friend's phone number is? I don't know phone number is memorized in my device. And what tied into me too was the thinking of Boolean logic, that people who are perhaps a little bit more experienced know the vernacular, they know what to look for, what to search on, and so that's one thing that we pass on was how to access.
So to piggyback on that, I think the kind of strategies that I think we need to be working with our students with are not the strategies of, it's a different kind of information search strategy. So when I'm working with students on the web, one of my concerns is they don't yet have the skills to know junk from not junk. And so how do you work with students to actually be able to evaluate the information, because there's lots of junk.
I like that. That's good.
I have the same experience. Connectivism now is instantaneous. But, before we used to call it networking. The same thing, a little bit slower. But with my students, they are connected, but they can't sort the junk, the winnow the wheat.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me. The base, I'm in economics, so
yeah.
Basic understanding of what numbers tell you and what they don't.
And
Basic understanding what is the assumption under that conclusion. They don't have the basis. I'm not sure how to get there, but they don't have the basis to make those decisions, and I'm not sure better connectivity is going to do that. It can, just like networking did.
Good point.
This may be kind of an old-fashioned idea, but that all of the attention we gave to critical reading is the same process. It's just that now we have to do it faster, and we have more things to sort through. But those same principles of, is it a good source, and how do you evaluate that source that we use? So that's a similar framework. It's just that it's just so much more apparent when they can find so much.
So I think it's not only that we have to help students learn digital literacy, which is how to be effective with these technologies, but also things like the World Wide Web,